Hello and welcome to the next video installment. Today we're going to be looking over some protocol for unwrapping standards in an effort to find the learning targets so that we can create formative assessments for our students. In the video we'll have some examples of standards that have already been unwrapped and a blank template for you to use, along with some sample standards that you could possibly practice in your groups. So the key to unpacking these standards or unwrapping them, first of all, circle all the verbs, which will be the skills. Secondly, underline the nouns, which are the concepts to be taught. And next would be to double underline any prepositional phrases, which would provide context for those concepts and skills to be applied. And then we'll write separately each verb skill. Each verb and noun combination is a separate learning target, which we will then use as our targets to use in our formative assessments. Examine each learning target asking the following questions. What are the instructional and assessment implications of this target? What would it look like to teach this in the classroom? Is it measurable? And what would the assessment look like? And it might be necessary to change the verb a little bit to make it measurable. We also need to look at examine the instructional and assessment implications because there might be some targets that are implied or not directly stated in the standard that should be included. An example of that might be if students are to add fractions with unlike denominators, there might be an implied target of creating equivalent fractions with common denominators before adding them together. So here's an example of a template that has a standard at the top here that reads, the student will know and apply the rules of the road and will skillfully and safely drive a car in a variety of situations. And what they've done after going through, they've circled all the verbs, the know and apply, skillfully and safely drive. Then they've inserted them in the left-hand column here, and those are the skills that students will need to do. In the second column, they've included the nouns, rules of the road, a car, so they're in there, and then the context in which they will apply those concepts and skills are in this third column with where they've inserted the prepositional phrases. The fourth column is left blank here, but you can see on the bottom that Bloom's taxonomy is provided, and obviously where it says apply the rules of the road, that would be Bloom's taxonomy application portion. There's another example here. And following that, we have a blank template that you can use, and below that we have some sample standards that your group can go through and practice. Underline the verbs, circle the verbs, underline the nouns, and double underline the prepositional phrases, and then plop them into this blank template, and that should give you a good idea of what it is that you'll need to do in order to unwrap the standards in an effort to root out the learning targets so that we can make meaningful formative assessments. I hope this has been helpful.